Hey everyone, welcome to the Manic Monday Strength of Field official racing on iRacing at Sebring this week. It's been a lot of interest in the racing at Sebring here this week with the question over whether the one-stop strategy or the two-stop strategy works. It's been quite an interesting addition to the series. Here we go, we can see Jordan Ross getting off the line very fast. Steve Jansen. Thomas McMillan's looking very racy there in behind Steve Jansen. And then Wayne Walker on the inside of Thomas. Getting into that first corner, gets very tight around here, but looks as though it's all nice and clean in these early stages. Well done, team. It's quite a nice field, not the strongest field we've seen, but quite a good field with a number of drivers that we don't see too much on Monday nights driving. Jordan Ross is certainly one of those. He's the guy in front at the moment. Steve Jansen in second. He's one of the most regular competitors. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. Thomas McMillan. Oh, Thomas looking a bit racy here into the hairpin. Is he going to break in time? No, he's run Steve very wide. Steve's done very well to keep it on the track there, but has lost a few places as a result of Thomas's move into the hairpin there. So they've allowed Wayne Walker into second, but Jordan Ross has taken right off. We've got a good lead early on. Now Thomas is flashing the lights at Wayne Walker. He's certainly on the march, I would say, here in these early stages. So most guys seem to be driving smoothly. Thomas may be a bit more aggressive than most in these early stages. So let's just keep an eye on this just for the moment. Oh, Thomas has taken a lot off that curve back there. I wonder if he's got a slowdown. I'm not sure you can cut that curve as much as he did there. So, oh yeah, there he is, slowing down, moving over. He's got himself a slowdown. So his aggression in his early stages hasn't really paid off. He's got to clear that slowdown. He's let a few guys past in that process. Oh, let's go back and check on what else is happening in this race. So we see Jordan Ross has bolted early on with that fun in behind him. He's going hard. It may indicate that Jordan's looking at a two-stop strategy with this strong early pace. Also Wayne Walker in second there looks to be going quite quick as well. Let's see who else we have in the field tonight. There's Sean McNamara. We don't see Sean very often in these races of late, so it's probably his first appearance of the season, so nice to see him racing. He'll be very competitive with these guys in this race. Dean Logsdale. Jonathan Gallen. Going very well early on. Thomas McMillan. Well, we know he's very racy in his early stages. He's probably going to have a go at Jonathan here. Here we go. Yeah, he's made that move quite cleanly. Left Jonathan a little bit exposed to Logan Barnett. But looks like Jonathan's held on there. Steve Jansen back in 8th after starting on the front row. Be interesting whether Steve's going to adopt the one-stop or two-stop strategy. Maybe there he's back in the field now. He might be forced into trying a one-stop strategy to try something different. Given that the guys up front seem to be going pretty hard. Steve Kokoschki's given a bit of pressure on Steve, so let's have a look, see if Steve lifts and coasts into this first corner. Try and save some fuel. Yeah, I'd say Steve Jansen is definitely lifting and coasting there. He'll be on the one-stop strategy. Who else do we have in the race? Chris Blanchard. He's been a regular attendee in the races on Manic Manic Mondays this season. It's been going very nicely. Matt Morris off to a bit of a slow start, but that might indicate a one-stop strategy for him. Roy Clark, good clean early start. Teammate Jason Fewens in behind him. Jay Brazio in behind him. These guys all raced on Saturday in the Furious Friday race, which was just Saturday time, Australian time, but they enjoyed going in that race and they all did quite well the other day, so they've got experience at this track and working out what works best, whether it's the one-stopper or a two-stopper. Richie, another member of the team's got quite a few teammates in this race. They're regular attendees at these races and really getting behind them. The team leaders don't appear to be here. They're in Chastity and Paul Young. They seem to be giving the race a miss tonight, probably saving themselves for the Tuesday tune-up at Suzuka tomorrow night. Back to the front of the field, and Jordan's opened up a very nice gap on Wayne. Strong pace. Jordan's probably got the most raw pace out of all the cars in this field. He's very quick, one of the faster drivers I see going around. When I compare my lap times to other drivers, you don't often get very close to Jordan's times. Certainly a similar story with Wayne Walker too, another very quick driver. I suppose that's why they're going hard in first and second. I think with the pace they're showing, the gaps they're opening up, they're probably on the two-stop strategy, so they've probably really got to go hard and really maximise their pace, because the guys on the one-stop strategy have been shown to have a pretty good record this week in holding off the two-stoppers. But I don't think I've seen someone with the pace of Jordan Ross and Wayne Walker try the two-stop strategy yet, so they're probably a good chance of taking out the race. Sean seems to be going hard as well, keeping up with the other fast guys. Sean, yet another fast guys. These races are all a bit older. They race in a league that's reserved for older drivers, but doesn't mean they're not very quick. It's quite a gap back to Thomas. Obviously, he's got past a few of those cars that he lost positions to through his slowdown. Dean Logsdale's the best of the rest. He seems to be travelling along quite nicely, but getting a bit of pressure from Jonathan Gallen, who's very much an improved driver. Every time I see him race, he's further and further up the field. Logan Barnett's hanging onto these guys quite easily. Maybe fuel saving, just biding his time in behind them. As is probably Stevie Kokoschki. Happy to all to just race in line at the moment, minimise the fuel, so hoping to get away with a one-stop strategy. Steve Jansen back in 9th. Seems to be a bit of space either side now, so it'll make it easier for his fuel saving efforts for the one stopper. Yeah, it's just the amount of fuel you've got to save each lap to bring it home. Like normally the fuel consumption, if you're going full pace around here, is about 4.8 litres a lap. I think to bring it home in a one stop, you need to reduce that to a bit over 4.4 litres. So that's a half a litre a lap, a bit almost, and so that probably means a bit of lifting and coasting into these corners and just looking for opportunities, just to be gentle on the throttle wherever you can. But obviously by maintaining the pace. I've tried it a few times, I'm really no good at it. But I've noticed some other guys this week are very good at it. It's probably a skill you really got to practice. And some guys, it's very rare they get a chance to do that in these strength of field official races. So some of the guys that are good are probably really enjoying the opportunity this week. Well, let's take a bit of a break from the race at the moment. I might take a break for a few laps and we'll come back to it shortly. Okay, back to the race. We're on lap 9 now, and we see Jordan Ross has got a nice lead over Wayne Walker at 2.8 seconds. So Jordan's really bolted out. Wayne's also bolted, and Sean McNamara. Those three guys have really cleared out. Jordan obviously showing the most pace from Wayne and Sean, but I'd expect these guys are on the two-stop strategy, and they'll have to come in to the pits very short. This is a 27-lap race, so coming in lap 9, this would be a very neat time to stop this lap or next. Longstyle not too far behind, going very neatly. Open up a bit of a gap on the guys behind him. Logan Barnett. Where's Steve Jansen? Up to 6th now. And I imagine the pit stop cycle has just about started. But Steve, how far is Steve back? 15 seconds back at the moment.
I don't know what happened there, Dave. I'll have to again, man. I'm sorry.
Alright, so Jordan hasn't come in at the end of lap 9, but I imagine he'll definitely be coming in at the end of the next lap. Yep, we see some guys in the pits now. Yeah, so Wayne's pitting and Sean's pitting. Also Dean, so there's lots of pit stops now, but Jordan stayed out for that extra lap. So we see all seems to go to plan there in those pit stops. Jordan way out on his own now, 12-second gap, going hard, yet to pit. Imagine if he is that fast, he's on the one stop strategy, but I highly doubt that with the gap that he's opened up and the pace that he's shown. Logan Barnett also stayed out in second now. Steve Jansen, as expected, still be out there. I don't think we'll see Steve in for the next few laps. He's definitely on the one-stop strategy. Alright, here comes Jordan. Pretty confident he'll be pitting this lap because this will be his probably final opportunity on the two-stop strategy. There we go, here in he comes. It looks very clean and neat there. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out compared to the other guys. Obviously they have some choice about how much fuel they take on, given it's a two-stop strategy. Some of them might have taken a bit more in the first stop than the others. Yeah, there's Steve moving through to the lead. So he'll hoping to open up as big a gap as possible while the two stoppers are taking their fuel in their pit stops.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, Jason.
Lots of pleasantries being exchanged out there. Always
Wayne up a bit more, mate.
Always good environment in these races. So let's see where Jordan comes out. Certainly come back from I think that was Wayne Walker that just went past him. Alright, so both Sean McNamara and Wayne Walker have jumped Jordan Ross in the pits. I didn't see anything go wrong for Jordan, so I guess that Jordan's taken on more fuel than these guys because he did have quite an advantage before the pit stops started. So my guess is that Wayne and Sean have taken on less fuel than Jordan because they've certainly got a couple of seconds on him. Let's go back and see what's happening at the front of the field. I think by this point we'll know who all the one-stop strategy people are, and they'll be Steve, who's got a massive lead out of the one-stop strategy guys. So Tyler, also one stop. Matt Morris, one stop. 6 and 8 seconds behind Steve, respectively. Jay will be on the one stop. I think he tried that in a previous race and didn't quite make it. But I imagine that experience has showed him how to do it this time around, and he'll make the one stop work. Tim Mulford also one stop. Matthew Brunt, Ryan Shelton, Andrew Ritchie, and Roy Clark. So I'd imagine that's all the one stoppers. Maybe nine one stoppers out of the leading components, and then you can see Wayne Walker coming in behind. I suppose it's a bit of struggle. Two stoppers, you're getting caught up a bit of traffic. We see Wayne and getting caught up amongst traffic, trying to get past Roy there. Obviously Roy let him in the room. Roy obviously knows the different strategies are in play here. I imagine Wayne would be pretty keen to get past Andrew Ritchie here. It's a bit awkward. Through the scaff, he might have a chance into the right-hander coming up here shortly. Here he goes. He'll just jam it down the inside and neatly Andrews leaves him plenty of room. That's neat. Nice racing.
Not a chance.
So Sean McNamara, same issues. Got to get past Roy Clark and Andrew Ritchie. He can't afford to be held up being on the two-stop strategy by these one-stop strategy guys. So while he's held up behind these, we can see Jordan making quick ground on him. So that strategy of taking a bit less fuel on him in that first stop may not work because he's getting held up by traffic. I'd imagine he probably will get past one in this turn and Andrew in the next turn into turn one. There, that was quite easy. I think Roy's got out of his way, but generally Sean would have a lot more pace on these guys. This might frustrate Sean a bit. This is nice to work at Andrew. He's letting through. It's got out of his awkward spot to park, but Andrew Ritchie's got well out of his way. Very polite racing there for sure. Wayne's still caught up behind a lot of cars here. This can't be doing him any favours, being caught up in behind all these cars. Just probably going half the pace he wants through these corners. There's just nowhere for him to go. See Steve Jansen's, look at the scoreboard. Steve's got a huge lead now, 8 seconds over Matt Morris, and Jay Brazier on 18 seconds. So Steve's out in his own really, and in terms of the one-stop strategy guys. Wayne and Sean desperately trying to get past the slower driver in front, not having much luck at this point. It's like Ryan Shelton's not getting out of their way, and they're going to have to earn their way through. And during these hold-ups, Jordan Ross has got right on their tail. I'd imagine. Oh, Ryan's moved across. Is he letting them by or defending? Let's have a look. Yeah, defending. So Wayne's got to go around the outside. A bit tricky to do. A bit looser out there. Oh no, Ryan went in for the pit stops. Let's get out of the way of these guys. Now they'll have freed up a bit. But interesting, all the three leading two-stop guys are all locked together now. Just with one more car to pass being, I think that's Tim Mulford, is it? Yep, there's Tim. He races these guys quite regularly. They all know each other very well. Tim probably doesn't see much of them in the normal races, but here he is. Probably time to check on the leader. He'll have to be pitting shortly. We'll just see a bit of action into the hairpin here. Like, it's going to get very tight between the three leaders and Tim Mulford. All three leaders get through. Good neat driving there. Let's work our way to the front of the field. Here's Steve. He's in no man's land. He's miles in front at the moment. He's not quite going the pace of the other guys, given that he is on the one-stop strategy. But this is lap 14. This is the halfway mark of the race. So he'll absolutely, definitely have to pit this lap. This is the lap. That tank will be almost completely running on empty now to stretch it out to this. He's probably have to coast around this corner just to make it into the pits. Let's see if he can do it. Alright, nice and tight there to get into that pit lane. A little bit of a wobble. Doesn't want to lose any time. He's trying to do this as quickly. He's got not a single second to spare with those other three guys charging at him on their different strategy. Matt Morris, we can see Matt Morris has come in behind him as well for his pit stop. But let's see how Steve's pit stop goes. He's a very experienced driver like Steve. He's the most experienced driver of these Manic Monday races. We've had 56. This is the 56th Manic Monday race in the Gentry cars, and Steve has been in 55 of them. He had a massive run going. He missed 2 weeks ago. That was the first race he'd ever missed, and he was the only driver that can boast that. So, super competitive, super consistent, and always turns up for these Manic Monday races, which is the main feature race of the strength of field racing for the Supercars. Alright, here we go. He's out. So where's he come out in the field? Into 8th spot. At 25 seconds behind Sean McNamara, who now takes the lead of the race. Let's go check out how those guys at the front are going. Imagine there's a bit of action. There we go. So Jordan's got past Wayne, but these are the three flyers. Doesn't seem to be much between them, but I think Jordan's probably the effective leader, having taken on more fuel in that first pit stop. So Steve, 25 seconds behind these leading three guys. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I can't tell whether that's close enough or not at this stage. We'll have to see how the race pans out. I imagine he is in it. The one-stop strategy has proved effective in all previous races this week. But these guys, probably because they get bored doing fuel saving, they're just going to go hard and race each other because they're going flat out. It's obviously always a lot more fun racing flat out, apart from those rare few that love the challenge of a fuel save. Right, Jordan's starting to look a bit racy here behind Sean. This is certainly a couple of classy drivers really going at it. I think they both race in the Pro Series. This is certainly the cream of the crop. Margin back to Steve, staying quite steady, which is a good sign for Steve. I suppose he's got good tyres at the moment, which even with fuel saving helps him keep up. Jordan's certainly looking for a way past here. These guys aren't interested in any fuel saving, so we may see a move from Jordan very shortly. Obviously he has a lot of pace because I'd imagine he's carrying a bit more fuel, which does make a bit of a difference. But probably not so much as that it's material. Let's see, maybe looking at a move at the end of this straight into the final corner. The big sweeper. Yeah, nice toe down here. Can he use it to his advantage? Wayne just on the watching brief in behind. Right, no advantage from the toe there at all. I wonder if this is frustrating Jordan a bit. He took on more fuel than Sean. Now Sean seems to be holding up a bit, and that may be a price to pay for that later on, with Jordan these guys really needing to move as fast as they can to hold Steve Jansen off. If he's close, we don't know, but they'll be assuming they won't know how well he's going, and they'll be wanting to make every bit of pace they can, and Jordan looks very much held up here behind Sean. And so maybe that was a strategic error by Jordan to take on that more fuel, because it's going to cost him a few tenths a lap here, stuck in behind Sean. So he really needs to get by. This may be it. I don't imagine Sean's very easy to get by. Very experienced, very top-class racer. But not quite the pace of Jordan here, I would say, from what I'm seeing, but enough pace to hold him out. And we see Wayne's making ground on them, with Sean doing that little bit of defending. But I think the pit stops will be due pretty soon. I think Jordan will be jumping Sean quite easily in the pit stop. But that doesn't help him here, where he's losing a few tenths every lap. Alright, Sean's in, Jordan's free, yay, I can go. He'll enjoy that. Probably, let's see how what sort of break he can make on Wayne now that he's got some free air in front of him. Not that Wayne's any slouch. These guys have opened up quite a big lead on the field. And we see Steve Jansen still holding that 24-second thing. So with Jordan being held up by Sean, Steve's managed to hold on to that 24-second gap, even though he's no doubt fuel saving. So that is a good sign for Steve, I'd say. Right, Wayne is actually making ground on Jordan. So he may have preserved his tyres a little bit better because he may even be going quicker now. This is very interesting. So both of these guys, well, but I'd say Jordan's still effective leader, as he will have a shorter pit stop next time they go in, which will be very shortly. And he'll open up a bit of a gap on Wayne. So yes, we don't know. Jordan could be miles in front of this race. We don't know. Or Steve Jansen, the leader of the one-stop strategy. So reminds me of one of those great horse races down the Flemington Straight where you got horses going down the one side and horses right down the other side. You can't possibly tell who's in front until they get closer to the line. And this is they're so far apart on the track. And this is exactly the situation we have here with these drivers on different strategies. We'll just stay with them, see if they go into the pits on this lap. And if they don't, we'll go have a look at some other drivers. So Jordan's staying out, Wayne's going in. You couldn't see it on screen there, and he just made it. He just nearly totally missed that pit entry, but he's in there safely now. I think that was okay. So Jordan's now set off, he's got a major lead, probably one more lap to go before he makes his pit stop. There's Wayne about to pull in. He'll have a longer stop. So Tyler Jarrett racing in third, going very nicely. But Steve's now on his tail. I think again, Steve won't want to be held up at all. But he can't push hard because he'll be on the limit of fuel. He'll be finishing on a virtually an empty tank. So you can't waste fuel trying to pass Tyler. Chris Blanchard going along very well. He's showing some good form of late. Matt Morris also progressing nicely on the one-stop strategy. And here's Sean, probably the leader of the two stoppers. Alright, let's check in on Jordan. We're expecting to see him come in this lap. I don't think... Oh, he might go another one, I suppose, just to make sure he's got strong tyres at the end of the race to race, whoever he needs to race. Unless he's miles in front. We'll wait and see. But the real interest will be when Jordan comes out of the pit stop to see how close he is with Steve Jansen, Sean McNamara and Wayne Walker. So is he coming in this time? Yep. Here he comes, into the pits for the final pit stop on the two-stop strategy. Watch him in the pits, and then we'll keep an eye out for Sean McNamara and Wayne Walker. I'd imagine Steve Jansen will be the first car we will see, and Steve will probably... It'll be interesting whether he can come out in front of Jordan. If he comes out behind Jordan, he's got no chance of catching him. So Steve has got to come out in front, and I can see Steve now crossing the start-finish line. So he is going to come out in front of Jordan and have a nice lead. There he goes, right in front of the screen. And there's the gap. Jordan's going to get out of the pit. So this is set up for a good race now. The one stop. This is the classic one stop versus two stop. So what's the gap? He's come out 8 to 9 seconds behind. So that's quite a bit to make up. We've got 9 laps to go. So he needs to make up a second a lap on Steve Jansen. He's fast enough, and he's not fuel saving, so it's very possible. Matt Morris currently in third. He's on the one-stop strategy, but here we go. The other two stoppers, as expected, Sean McNamara and Wayne Walker have come out behind Jordan due to the different fuel intakes at the second pit stop. I'd imagine these guys, Sean and Matt and Sean and Wayne are all fighting for a third spot here. Looks like Steve Jansen and Jordan Ross. Unless Steve has to slow right down, these guys might get to him. Or Sean and Wayne might, because Matt's on the one stop. So I imagine these guys will get past him pretty easy, as Matt's got to be conserving fuel. I think the real interest in this race is going to be amongst those front two. You see the gap still at 8.8 seconds, so no ground made up by Jordan yet in the early stages as he gets his tyres up to speed. Let's just check out some other drivers before we really focus on the leaders' battle. So we see Dean Logsdale going along very nicely here in 6th spot. He's got a lot of space behind him and in front of him, so he can just race very neatly and tidily without any pressure, and a nice top 6 result, potentially top 5 in the offer. Jay Brazier also going very neatly. Tim Mulford. Yeah, neat gaps here at the moment as we see the race settled right in with 8 and 9 laps to go. Oh, 7 laps, sorry. I was 27 laps. I might have got my laps wrong there. It's only 7 laps to go. So it makes the time for Jordan to catch Steve even shorter. Alright, might be time to start checking in at the front of the race. We can see Jordan's back into the fires. While his tyres are fresh, he's making huge ground up on Steve. Like, this is probably the laps that he'll make up the most ground, where his tyres are very fresh, and we can see that gap coming down very quickly. So here we go, Steve. There's no sign of Jordan. Oh, there he is in the background. Just have a quick glimpse of Jordan in the background there, but obviously he come out almost 9 seconds behind, and after a few laps he's brought that down to 5 seconds. So he's got 5 laps to go to make up 5 seconds. So we've still got that 1 second a lap delta that Jordan needs to make up, and his tyres won't be slowly getting a bit less sharp now, so that the ability to make that ground will start reducing slightly, I'd say. So at this stage, yeah, it's a toss of the coin, I'd say. Steve will be driving as smooth and fuel saving as he possibly can, because he can't afford to drop a single hundredth of a second with Jordan bearing down on him so fast. On the other hand, Jordan, he will be absolutely flat chat. He won't be conserving anything, or maybe he does have to conserve a bit of tyres for later in the race, but he won't have any fuel concerns whatsoever. That's what makes this race quite interesting. The one stop versus the two stop strategy. As I mentioned before, it's such an unusual thing in these strength of field races and the officials. It may not even been intended, but I think it's been a good result to add a bit of spice to this week. It certainly has added some spice to this race. I wonder if Jordan's feeling confident. You can see him up front. He knows he's got a bit of pace on him generally in the scheme of things. So he's got more fuel to use, probably a bit more natural pace. But there is only 4 laps to go. 5 laps to go. Let's have a look at the other guys. How far are they? We can see Sean is quite a bit back now. Jordan's got right away from these guys, but Wayne's certainly keeping Sean in his sights. And they've got past Matt Morris, who's got to still keep fuel saving, so he can't quite go with these guys at the moment. He'll probably just keep losing a bit of ground to them as the race goes on. Matt's main concern will be probably holding off the driver behind him, which is Dean Longsdale. Dean's on the two-stopper, I think, and will be going hard after Matt. 6 seconds to make up. It's unlikely, but we'll keep an eye on that at the end of the race. I'd say Jordan's got it within the 1 second a lap now, so he's got less than a second a lap to make up on Steve and to get past him. So we're going to come up to 4 laps to go very shortly once they get down that back straight and down the final corner. There we go, there's the gap. I don't know how Steve's feeling. He's feeling confident. I'd imagine he's probably enjoying his position, but he knows he's got a very fast driver coming after him, charging after him, which can't be the most comfortable feeling, but I'd imagine it's quite thrilling as well. Steve doesn't win many of these races. He's always in there. He's always competitive. He got a win a few weeks ago, and that might have been his first win in one of these Manic Monday races. Now he's looking for another one here. He's the current championship leader in the Manic Monday series by quite a margin, due to his consistent top results and him turning up every week. So I'm sure he'd love a victory here to add to his one a few weeks ago. There we go, down to 3 seconds. That gap is actually coming down very fast. Jordan is flying. You see that more aggressive braking into the turns from Jordan as he knows the fuel savings. I don't know, who's your tip at the moment? Is Jordan going to get in? Margin 2.5, it is coming down so quickly. Looks like Wayne has got some interest in getting past Sean sometime soon. This battle for third place. So Wayne's looking a bit racier. It might be a chance to get past Sean in these last few laps. Alright, here we go. Gap down to a bit over 2 seconds. Now he's right in his sights. Imagine Steve's getting very nervous at this point. I know I would be. he might have saved enough fuel to mount a defence. It'll be interesting to see. Like, he might have to see whether Jordan saved enough of his tyres in this charge. Has he burnt them up? He's certainly charged very hard to bring this gap down from the almost 9 seconds to the 2 seconds over a mere matter of 5 or 6 laps. So we got under 3 laps to go, and under 2 seconds gap. If you look at the formula, it's quite possibly in Jordan's favour. But then again, it's one thing to catch a fast driver, get behind them. It's another thing to get past them. I think we'll just concentrate on this part of the race at the moment. You can see on the scoreboard the gap between Sean and Wayne's very close. It's going to be a very tight battle for third as well. This is a very exciting race. It's turned out very nice race. Just have a look at Wayne and Sean here. Looks like Wayne does really mean business here. He wants that place on the podium. It's going hard. As we saw when Jordan was stuck behind Sean before, it's not easy to get past him. So Wayne's got his work cut out if he wants this podium position. He's going to give it his best shot though. Checking in the gap above the leaders, only 1.3 seconds. So Jordan, the gap seems to be steadying a bit. Here we go. This is a key move. He's pulled out. Sean would have been on his brakes as late as possible there, not letting Wayne get the opportunity to get far enough on the inside to take the corner. Sebring certainly brings out lots of battles like this. I'm sure everyone remembers a few years ago the Pro Series race here. It's probably the best ever race I've seen on iRacing. The Pro Series guys going nuts at Sebring a couple of seasons ago. It's a track that does bring out some lovely battles. Oh, the gap between Jordan and Steve's now within a second. Here we go. We better concentrate on this battle for the lead because this is so interesting. The gap's a little bit steady at the 1 second, so I'd imagine Jordan's tyres are maybe a little bit off now. He's finding it a bit harder to make that ground, and possibly Steve has conserved enough fuel to go a bit harder. Because that gap has not fallen as fast lately, but with 1 lap to go, this is it. This is it, the final lap. 0.9 of a second. Jordan's got a charge. Will he get him? I thought he would get him easily a few laps ago. But Steve's driving magnificently, holding him off. Let's get the feeling Jordan's got still that little bit more pace than Steve, naturally, and I'd imagine at this point that Jordan's pushed so hard that their tyres are probably in a similar state. But down to 0.7 seconds, he's making ground. And this is a key corner coming down this hairpin. I find this the hardest corner to get consistently right on the circuit. Steve absolutely got to get this right, otherwise Jordan's going to get right up to him. Beautifully driven. That's lovely. Well done, Steve. Both drivers, and you'd expect that from both of them. A bit squirrely out of there, Steve. He's going hard now because Jordan's got right into half a second now, so he's making up those tenths slowly. So it's probably going to come down to the last corner by the look of this. Grandstand finished, coming up. Very important to be smooth here. Don't want to get your line wrong here. You'll lose heaps of ground if you don't get onto that back straight at top pace. You really got to get this exit right. And they both look good, but Jordan, there he goes, right up to the tail now. He'll be in the slipstream. Jordan's got every chance to get past Steve here. This is as close as you can get. He's got him right in his sights, lining him up into this final corner of the race. It all comes down to this. Oh, Steve's gone very wide on the approach to the corner. Jordan's going wide. It's not hard. He's going to be able to switch back. Nah, oh, you see Jordan slip there. That cost him. He's not going to get him. He lost his grip on the outside there. That little slip. He lost a bit of momentum, and that's enough for Steve to take victory. What a race. What a great race. Well driven, Steve. And we think back for Jordan being held up by getting stuck behind Sean for that while due to the different fuel strategies. And I think that might have been a key difference in the race. The two differences, Steve's wonderful driving. And yes, definitely.
Yeah, that was good, Sean.
Sean did finish in third. Matt Morris in fifth. Yeah, the finish all over the place now. So that was a great race. I'll sign it off there. I hope you enjoyed that Manic Monday race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was very exciting. I'll catch you all again tomorrow for the Tuesday tune-up at Suzuka. Remember, that's a race open for everyone. Make sure you join in. It's a lot of fun.